Hey everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the Witch Doctor skills. Well, something. Looking at, checking out, talking about, messing around video. And it is time for the Hex skill, so let's take a look at that one instead. You will summon a fetish shaman for 8 seconds that will hex enemies, and they will take more damage and will be unable to do anything. First off, we have the Jinx rune. The hexed target will actually take more than 20% additional. They will take 90% more. So yeah. And this one, they will take some damage from the hex. So that is all. Both of these will help you deal more damage. This one, your shaman will heal friendly targets for a lot, and this one will just taking something to drink there. I'm quite thirsty. You will turn into an angry chicken for up to 5 seconds, and you can explode and deal damage to everything within 12 yards. And unstable form, hex targets will explode when killed. And this is not a skill I would go for, I think. I don't feel attracted by it. It's not really appealing to my Diablo-ish side. But if I would take it, I would go for Angry Chicken, because I want to be an Angry Chicken. I really like the idea of that. So yeah, let's move on to Corpse Spiders. You summon 4 spiders that attacks nearby things. Sounds kinda simple. I'm not sure. Will these spiders last forever? If they do, I like it. If they just attack once, it's not that cool. And of course we got the first rune here. It is the Medusa spiders. They will slow your enemies. I'm not really digging that one. This one will increase the damage and will deal fire damage instead, so just a boost of the original effect. Widowmakers will leech. What is it? It leech mana. So once again, you can gain mana by using this one. You put them up, and you will gain mana back to use on other more awesome spells. So that is something I like. Spider Queen I like as well. I've actually done this one time earlier, so I know kind of what I do. Because I talked too long, so I had to redo it. Since I'm limited to 15 minutes, and I forgot to check the timer. Spider Queen, there we are, summoning a mother spider that births spiderlings. I liked that one as well. It lasts 22 seconds, and you can only have one Spider Queen at a time. Mother spider. And leaping spiders, they will jump to their target instead of running over there. So yeah, I'm not sure if I would use it. If the spiders lasts for infinity, maybe, go for the summoning style, have a lot of things summoned that do the dirty work for you. So let's move on to Horrify. Don a spectral mask that horrifies all enemies, so you just fear them. They will run around and look cute. Once again, not a skill I'm really thrilled about, but well, let's check it out anyways. They will not get slowed, but it might seem like that, because you will gain movement speed for 4 seconds. Really? No. You gain armor, so no. Doesn't really fit the style of the Witch Doctor in my eyes. Here we go. You gain mana for every feared enemy. If there are a lot of enemies, you will gain a lot of mana. If you look at it from that point of view, it is good. You can gain a lot of mana if there are a lot of targets. Face of Death. It will reach further. And finally, Phobia. It will stay longer. It will be feared for a longer time. 12 seconds instead of 5. Once again, not a skill I would choose. Not my favorite. But, well, maybe. Well, not for me, but I can see how it can be useful at least. Moving on to Fire Bats. A swarm of fear bats burn enemies in front of you. And I'm thinking, I'm not really sure how I want to see this used. I don't only see it, I want to feel it, I want to use it, and because it's hard to say how much you like a skill just by seeing it. I want to actually use it, and since I'm not in the beta, I cannot do it yet. And if I were in the beta, I would not be doing these movies where I'm just talking about skills. I would actually play and talk about that instead. As I see it, since it uses mana per second, I feel it's like Inferno in Diablo 2, where you know we just spray fire and it will slowly drain your mana. That is the feeling I get of it. I might be wrong. I could probably check it out, but I do not want to spoil myself with too much, in-game coverage, because I want to play it rather than to watch someone else do it. Let's see, Cloud of Bats, the first one. You will call forth a swirl of bats instead, and it will deal a lot more damage. Again, I do not really know how this changes, but I think it changes the whole skill. That is the feeling I'm getting. Diabats, I think this one will just work. I'm not really sure how this works either, but you will summon fewer but larger bats that will travel far, far away and deal a lot of damage. Vampire bats, they will leech life, and hungry bats will, let's see. Oh, there's nothing like that. Well, you will get life. Always good if you're playing hardcore. Very useful, to avoid dying. Hungry bats, you will they will seek out targets. Reminds me of the druid skill Raven, I think it's called in Diablo 2. You have ravens flying around. Of course, I don't think these bats will fly around you and attack targets. But when you summon them, they will fly. Maybe more like guided arrow or something like that. But point being, you don't have to aim. Well, and finally, plague bats. They will bite and deal damage over time. Slowly, for a long time, it will increases and deal a little per second in the beginning and a lot per second in the end. Moving on to Fire Bomb. Lob an explosive skull that deals fire damage in an arrow effect. So throw a skull, it explodes, things take damage. Straightforward. I think I know what skill this is. I've seen it from earlier events when they've been showing off Diablo 3. But let's see what you can do with it. Flash fire. Instead of exploding in an area, it will bounce around on different targets, and it will actually reduce damage per hit. So no, I'm not really digging this one. I like the idea, but I do not like that it will decrease the damage. Conflagration. Conflagration. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that actually. Conflagration. There we go. That seems to be right. Well, anyways. In addition to the base explosion, create a larger blast that deals even more damage. So, small blast that hits in I think it's smaller, 8 yards, and then additional a larger blast. Less damage, but greater radius. Pyrogeist. Create a column of flame that spews fire at the closest enemy. So I'm thinking of this is kind of reminding me of the fire trap of the assassin in Diablo 2. That is, and roll the bones. This one I really like. Your skull will bounce, and I'm assuming it will explode in 3 places. Since it bounces 2 times, it should probably be 3 explosions. Damage will be reduced. Well, 15% per bounce, but I'm okay with that. Really like that one. And fire pit, it will leave a pool of fire. This is good against enemies that will stay in place, but against moving enemies that just do not stay in it. Oh, maybe not. Prefer roll the bones there. Moving on to Spirit's Walk. You spirit walk. You enter a spirit realm, you can run around, you can move through enemies. Okay, I was thinking about this earlier. Sorry for the interruption there, I was trying to think. I cannot think and talk at the same time. Okay, so when it ends, it will end if you cast a spell, or if you're... That is how it is. If you you cannot really run from enemies very easily. It is great for scouting, but you can, if you're surrounded and use it and run away as a spirit, your physical body will still be in the same place, and if it takes damage, 50% of your maximum damage, it will end. So it's a great scouting opportunity. You run around the corner, check for things. Let's see, healing journey. You will gain 60% of your maximum life every second. You will deal damage to things you run through. On Nordgest, you will gain mana 11%, so if a total of 33%. Like this one, quite a lot. Get mana to use at other things. Jaunt, it will increase the duration. Kind of useful if you want to scout a larger path. 10 seconds is, as you know, a lot longer than 3. Umbral Shock. Let's see. When it ends, your physical form bursts for a lot of damage. Moving on to Soul Harvest. Feed on the life force of 5 enemies and gain some attack. I'm not really sure how attack works here. I'm guessing that your spells will get stronger, so that is how I read it. I'm not sure. So it's basically a buff, but it's based on harvest from enemies and gain strength from that. Let's see. The first one, they will also take damage when you hit them with them, so you get some area effect damage. You gain a lot of life. I'm not sure if that is correct, if you gain that much, but basically you gain life. That is the point. Swallow your soul, you gain mana, so these two are kind of the same, but mana and life. This one increases the duration to 65 seconds instead of 30, I think. Yes. And language, finally, you will also slow them. So this, I can see this is useful. You get a buff, you get more power, and if you use it with, let's see, swallow your soul, I think. Yeah, you gain mana as well. So use it, gain mana, and you can gain more attack power. Well, not attack power, but attack. You deal more damage and get some mana to deal damage with. And let's see, sacrifice. All of your dogs explode, dealing damage to enemies within 12 yards. So basically, you have your dogs, they explode, things take damage. Very simple. Next of kin, each sacrificed dog has a chance to resurrect as a new zombie dog. If you use the sacrifice before, I think there is a 60-second cooldown on summoning dogs. If you use it before these 60 seconds has elapsed, it is useful. Otherwise, you can just summon 3 new, and then it's kind of not that useful. Provoke the pack. You will get your damage increased 30% for every sacrificed dogs for 60 seconds. I'm guessing that basically you get a boost, damage boost. Pride, you gain mana, you gain life, and this one also slows the enemies that are affected. And as time is running on here, I will start with the next movie. Well, part, maybe. Sorry, movie. Let's say it's a movie. It sounds great. But the next part, and it will be part number 3. So this is the end of part 2. Thank you for now, and see you soon.